Hi, Mick. Welcome to the podcast. Mick's the lovely other half of Lynn Saunders, who we've interviewed previously on the podcast, who's just done amazingly well in our program. And she just loved it and raved about it so much. She said, "Oh, my husband just loves this program. Even he'd be willing to get to get on and talk about it," which is actually awesome because we get a lot of pushback from the husbands. I think because, a lot of women, probably like Lynn, have done a ton of quick fix diets and they think, oh, what is this other thing that you're going to do? Is it just going to be this other diet that you'll do for a while and then you'll just throw in the towel? So thanks so much for coming on, Mick. So how long have you and Lynn been together?
We met one another in 1989, but we were married in 94.
Yeah, wow. So that's 89, 99, like over 30 years.
So
yeah, wow.
33 years, I suppose. Been married 29 years, or 29 years next year, so next January.
Okay, perfect. It's a long time. And in that time, how many diets would you guess she's been on?
Well, I could put it another way and say we had a substantial diet library, which anyone would be envious of. But I would say at least one a year. But that's not exaggerating. That would be the case. Yeah.
Although, look, that's pretty standard for so many of the women I speak to, and I was the same. I just pretty much, it's like, well, what diet haven't you tried, Kitty? And how did you feel watching her go through all of these different diets over the years?
My job, like all husbands, is to be supportive of it. I think it's human to be a little bit cynical, and it was no different here. But like most things that, you want to change a habit, it's hard initially. And then as you build those sort of good habits, then it becomes easier and easier. I mean, there's challenges involved sometimes, but mostly not. It's probably easier now that we're somewhat more older and mature. You have a less complex life, I suppose, is another way to put it. Yeah.
True. And was it hard watching her go yo-yo up and lose weight and gain weight and just look? She was so frustrated all the time.
Oh, look, that wasn't for me. It was the emotional thing, not so much emotions, but how her personal emotions would, a peak and trough, like the diet results, and so it's like sometimes living with a little bit like Jekyll and Hyde. There's no stability, in yourself.
Yeah.
And that's been our life for probably 30 years. And I'm not having a go at Lynn. It's just a fact of it is. And, I suspect a lot of people are like that, both male and female, but particularly so with Lynn. But I would say the last 3 years have been the happiest I've ever been. She's, always happy, always in a good mood, always full of energy. And I don't say it because, there's an expectation that I will. I say it because that's the fact. And the only time that I notice a little bit of crankiness is when she hasn't eaten, or it's past her time she would normally eat by, say, an hour or so. But other than that, she's just a joy to live with.
Oh, I love it. And you know what? So many women say that. They say, "Oh, my husband's really noticed the change in me, in the energy, in the moods." So I think it's pretty common. And what did you think when she told you that she joined the program? So, rewind 3 years. What did you actually, tell us the truth, initially think?
How much? To be honest with you.
Yeah.
But look, supportive is how I would say it. But that's just me. We've gone, through a lot of journeys and a lot of places. We've had a really interesting life and been really fortunate with our children and work life, and we've been exposed to a lot of different and interesting things. And it'd be remiss of me not to be supportive of Lynn, how she's been supportive of me. So I'd be surprised if she said anything different other than the initial shock, but it was worth every cent.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you think it's been worth it?
No, definitely.
Yeah.
You put a price on happiness, I suppose, but not that we were unhappy. It's just that, you lived in this, sort of dynamic environment with moods, and now that no longer is a part of our life. It's great.
And so you've sort of briefly talked about this, but what changes have you noticed in Lynn since she's joined the program?
So her body shape has changed, and there's often a lot of fixation with what the scales tell you, but her body shape has definitely changed. Her stability in moods is excellent. Really just amazingly happy, pleasure to be around. I actually noted, just the other day I noted this, we're doing buying something or another. I think we were just inquiring about a lounge. And normally, the sort of talk about, warranties and this, that and the other would normally come out of my mouth. But she was taking charge and lead on it, which she's really never done before. It was great. So I don't mind, handing off those responsibilities to her. And I suspect that's got a lot to do with, her own self-confidence and ability and known abilities. I've always known they're there, but, sometimes bringing them out was always a bit of a challenge. And Lynn would probably agree with that, but not so much, or not to the same extent anyway.
Oh, that's awesome. And why would you say the program is different to all the other ones that she's done in the past?
It's a good question. Well, it's not complex. I mean, there's a little bit of science behind it, which she likes to explain as to why, the carrot in the morning sort of thing, as to why the balance between carbohydrates, fats and proteins, and why that's important. The regular eating, which we kind of knew about anyway, it's always a good thing. It's not a simple diet, but it's simplistic in its nature. Just ditch the chemicals and all the other rot that tends to come with most food nowadays, and we pay a bit more attention to that. So, I would say mostly the logic or the science behind what she's doing and the results that she's getting that are not, in my opinion, driven by a figure on a scale, although there's been some changes there, but most of the changes have been in a physical change in her body, how it looks actually, Yeah. So having that extra motivation and positive sort of outlook on life has got her to the gym. I don't know how many exercise machines I've bought over the years, and, had a bit of a joke about it later, but she's been going to the gym 3 days a week almost religiously for 3 years now.
Oh, that's awesome. And you've sort of talked about this briefly, but what impact has it had on your relationship?
Oh, nothing but positive, it's not like we had a bad relationship prior to that. It's just that, like a lot of relationships, there was, mood swings and ups and downs, like in all relationships. But they really don't exist anymore. It's just, a real status quo, a real normalcy about Monday to Friday and weekend life, and we enjoy each other's company. Always had. I mean, we've been going or known each other 30 plus years and married coming on to 30, so there must be something there anyway. But it's like Lynn's my best friend, always has been, but it's great hanging around with your best friend when you're all both in a good mood, isn't it?
It sure is. Yeah, when you're not hangry. And you've sort of talked about this as well, but what benefits have you seen for yourself, if any?
Oh, look, I haven't jumped on the same wagon because I like more flexibility in what I eat and when I eat. But I've lost 15 kilos along the way, sort of thing. And
oh wow, you've lost 15 kilos.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow, that's a big benefit. Just doing this with Lynn.
Oh, just not doing it with Lynn, just, watching Lynn and being mindful of the same things that she's been mindful of, and being a bit regimental like she's been regimental. And I've never really struggled with weight really, but I've always used to lose a bit more weight for my own health and benefit from that point of view. But there's that aspect, we get out a lot. Well, I mean, we go down the beach nearly every day now just for a walk. Or whatever that might be. When the weather's a bit cooler, we get on our bikes nearly every Sunday. It's just enjoying life.
And finally, what would you say to the other husbands or partners of women who are thinking about joining the program and they're a bit skeptical or wondering whether it's worth the investment?
I would say it's worth the investment if you put the investment in, and I think it's important to say that. But the rewards are excellent, and the outlay that you put up front really, pays dividends to the point where it's just, you probably spend more on coffee a year really than what you would here for the advice that you get for the camaraderie that you build from the support that's gained from the checking in, and the data and the science and the information that comes all with the package. I mean, it pays dividends. I mean, if nothing else, the fact that you're healthier and happier is in itself, the money is not even worth discussing.
Oh, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Mick. I really appreciate it. I'm sure this will probably help some of the husbands who's, the wives are thinking or partners thinking about investing in their sort of not quite sure. So I really appreciate you coming on the show, and well done for losing 15 kilos too.
Well, thanks so much.
I love it how you're like, I just lost 15 kilos. It's great. Oh, thank you so much, Mick. And yeah, maybe I'll talk to you soon.
Sure. No worries. Thanks so much. Bye.
Bye.